I want to bring in Igor Novikov, former advisor to Ukrainian President Zelensky. Igor, thanks for your time this morning. Let's start with that last point from our Secretary of State, Antony Blinken there. He says that this kidnapping has already started. In fact, your former boss said this week that the mayor of Melitopol was freed on Wednesday after Russian forces captured him last week. How much of a concern is this right now?
Well, it is a concern, but to me, the more important kind of thing here is that it's a telltale sign of two really important things. First of all, it showcases the real support that Russia has in Ukraine. If they had, as much support as they claimed, if Ukraine had been, a pro-Russian country, they wouldn't need to do that. They wouldn't need to replace popular and democratically elected leaders and replace them with stooges. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, it's actually a telltale sign of a failure far greater than Putin's military failure. And that's a failure of his propaganda machine. Because from what we're seeing on the ground, it seems that Putin actually fell for his own lie. He expected Ukrainians to welcome his army with flowers. And that didn't happen because obviously, the money that he assigned to kind of achieve that result must have been stolen by people like Medvedchuk, for example.
Igor, on that last point, why would Putin have expected that? Why would he have expected that the Ukrainian people would have bought the trash that he's trying to peddle?
Well, I don't think he expects the Ukrainian people to buy the atrocities. I think that's his natural reaction to the disappointment and the rage caused by the fact that he wasn't welcomed with flowers. But I think, his initial delusion about Ukrainians wanting to be a part of Russia has a lot to do with the fact that, with his roots. He's a KGB agent, he's a product of the Soviet system. He's the product of the terror system, and he uses, the mixture of violence and propaganda to get his end result. And I think the failure here was the fact that he was sold by his inner circle on that end result, and they claimed it was achieved, but there was nothing further from the truth. And the funny part is he's actually making that mistake for the second time in Ukraine. He expected, people not to revolt against Yanukovych or to welcome him back in 2014, and that didn't happen either.
I want to ask you about something that's getting a lot of attention right now. On Thursday, as you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger posted this video speaking directly to the people of Russia. He tried to cut through some of that propaganda that you were just talking about and tell them the truth about what's actually happening in Ukraine. This is part of what he said.
I know that the Russian people are not aware of such things are happening. So I urge the Russian people and the Russian soldiers in Ukraine to understand the propaganda and the disinformation that you're being told. I ask you to help me spread the truth.
Speaking in English, subtitled in Russian, one thing to note, very important, at last check, the official Russian president Twitter account only follows 22 accounts. One of those accounts is Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he's obviously very popular in Russia and throughout Eastern Europe. How important was that statement, Igor, and did it get through?
Well, first of all, yes, it did get through. It's trending on Russian Twitter. It's being spread virally across the Russian social media, and we monitor things like that. I think there are no words to describe how important this was. I think this was an I have a dream moment, for the future of, our planet and the new global security architecture. Arnold took the responsibility to give, the people of Russia who haven't, those people of Russia who haven't been yet zombified, a sense of belonging to a community that offers something different from the genocidal and maniacal stuff sold to them by Kremlin. And, I strongly urge anyone with a fan base in Russia to do the same. Because, look, the only way to stop, this terrible tragedy for good would be to undermine the Russian propaganda, domestic Russian propaganda. So I think, it takes a challenge to do it. So I'll do my part as well. I think we need to nominate more people to do the same and follow Arnold's lead. So I'll probably I'll go after my favorites. First of all, Henry Rollins. I'd love to see him do it. I can't believe that any Russian fan of Henry Rollins would support this war. My favorite band, Shinedown, 21 Pilots, and more importantly, Banksy. If every, or at least if 50% of celebrities do the same, if they open Telegram channels, and if they address the Russian people and explain to them that, they're being sold lies, they're being made against their will a part of something they're not. That would cause enough pressure for Putin to, if not lose his power, then at least kind of slow down a bit. Because, the only group of people he's really afraid of, apart from his inner circle, that will betray him eventually, is the Russian people. And that's where we need to have that conversation.
Igor Novikov, you make a lot of sense to me. I hope you'll come back. I enjoyed our conversation. Thank you. Stay safe and try and enjoy your weekend if you can. Thank you, Igor.